What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the February 2025 edition of the monthly retros. We're going to mix up the format a little bit this month, as we do every single month. But I'm going to keep it all compressed to one Notion page and not jump around to a million different softwares. Keep it nice and streamlined, utilize screenshots, blur out names, do all the good stuff. And I actually did a lot of pre-work this time to get it ready. So you guys can thank me in the comments. But in case this is your first time here for the past 6 to 8 months or so, I've been building a marketing and design agency here in Columbus, Ohio. Been sharing every step along the way. This is my monthly review to keep myself accountable for content, finances, clients, outreach, touch on revenue, income, expenses, all the details of this month in the business. Like I said, okay, so kicking it off, this is what we do every month as we talk about active projects, business income, business expenses, personal income, and personal expenses. So business income this month was 4280.84. Business expenses was almost 500 at 498, and personal income was zero. Personal expenses almost 1200, totaling rent and all of our others. So if we zoom in here as we do go through each number, this is all the invoices we sent this month. And I know definitely very behind on this month. If you guys missed the episode from last month, we'll link that in the card. But last month was just over 9K. This one, obviously, not where we want to be at. We need to be hitting the 9 to 10K month every single month. And this month did not happen. But there's a lot of reasons for that. And we're going to pull more into that here as we go through some of these. So we had, right now we have 4 maintenance clients for ongoing marketing, websites, updates, revisions. These are all the invoices that we sent this month, and you can see how many of them are paid versus how many of them are in draft and fulfilled. So as you can see, a lot of these are not filled. So that's problematic. These are a list of the ones that did go through and that were fulfilled through other means. So if you guys want to check out past videos, we use Moxie freelance software to manage all of our invoicing and tracking. We also use Stripe to go through and do all this stuff. So as you can see, the transaction volumes of each one, we have a 440, a 300, 1250, 1500, 300, and 500. All the ones that are above 1,000 are for websites, milestone payments. And we still have a lot more. So we have 5 or 6 clients that are still in the progress of websites right now. Right now we have 10 active. Four or five of them are retainers and 5 of them are website projects. So we're about half and half in terms of sites versus retainers, which is just kind of where I wanted to be honest with you. It's not making enough in terms of the retainer clients, and there's been so long of a drag between phases that I'm not consistently closing and starting a new one every single month. So we're a little bit behind in terms of that. So compressing our window in terms of when invoices are coming through and getting better at managing that before the month closes so we can stay on track is very top of mind. This is a list of all of the accounts receivable that we have. So this is work already completed that we just have not been paid for yet. So as you can see, this totals to about five or 6,000, which would have gotten us to our monthly goal this month. But like I said, these clients have either not paid or they haven't fulfilled their invoices yet. It's just been taking a lot of follow-ups, and so unfortunately and it also is on me because I have a habit of sending these out at least around a week before the month closes, and I don't set them due to be 2 weeks. So that's another thing I need to start doing, is invoicing earlier. That's a part of it. The biggest expenses this month in the business, total spend was 410 from the biz account, and the biggest investment we made this month was in email marketing. So we set up a couple, and that's through ConvertKit. So we paid for a year of ConvertKit. It's $108, and that was basically just a forcing function for me to get better at email. Starting to send out the podcast email. I need to start doing the weekly newsletter. I just can't. I haven't allocated the time towards it, but this is all accountability on my front. But hopefully that little sting of having to pay that will help me to lean more into it moving forwards. Personal revenue, none. I work full time for myself, so that's not much of a shock. Usually there's some kind of dividend payments which aren't accounted for here just through my investments and stuff. But personal expenses total to that's pre-rent, so total expenses were about 1,200 for everything in total. That is everything. So that's car insurance. I pay for everything except my phone bill and groceries. So that's everything from gas to food to just miscellaneous expenses. Pretty much all I spend money on networking events, stuff like that. Um, but this is the thing that I want to implement moving forwards, and this is a wins up for the month, losses for the month, and focus areas and lessons for the upcoming month. So, what I want to double down on, what I'm going to improve on, is setting the conditions for exact action items on how I can make these things happen moving forward. So, I want to change these to be call out items. Lord, I want to change these to both be call outs right here, like so, just so I can generate some intentionality around these things. But wins for this month, we started with a new marketing retainer client who values the work, communicates well, is a professional in all rights, and represents a good balance of advising and strategy with a minimal amount of task taking. And to me, this is exactly what I want to be doing. There's a little bit of website stuff that needs done. We're a little bit handcuffed in terms of a access point because the hosting is outsourced and it's on a very old WordPress site that's built on a developed theme that I don't have a ton of access to. But down the line, I have it on his radar to just do a full rebuild. So that'll be in the cards at some point. But right now, a lot of it is just content strategy, just consulting. So 2 calls a week, really talking about laying out his content strategy for his B2B audience on LinkedIn and getting a good cadence going, email marketing, and making suggestions to him to optimize different things, in his business. And it's a really good collaboration. The founder is high performing. I can't say too much about it just for, sensitivity reasons, but I very much value the work, and I look forward to an expanded, retainer scope that will happen moving forwards. Another win for this month: better habits of sending more LinkedIn connections and messages rather than doom scrolling. So I have a part-time team member, Daniel, who is handling a lot of my connection outreach. So he's going through a list that I put together of founders that are local and members of the chamber, just a curated list of the job titles we're looking for, sending connects, and then they get populated in my inbox. So I'm consistently meeting that threshold. I've actually gotten a couple conversations started just from the connections he's made. So that's been very helpful. It allows me to focus more on the messages portion of the of my LinkedIn habits rather than focusing on going to a list, reading the description, and plucking one at a time, and just have him reference the list and send 30 connects a day, which has been a big help for me. And I really appreciate that. Another win is getting better at having Daniel do tasks and comfortably walking him through each conversation, being okay with how long it takes and not stressing. So something I've had him do is on our weekly calls, I will walk through a task, screen share, record, create an SOP, and then have him screen share and walk through doing the same thing while he's following the SOP so I can see him following the task as I do it. It takes a lot of time, but then I know right afterwards exactly how it's being done, and I can kind of visualize his workflow when he's clocked in and I know he's working. So that does help me a lot. And good performances and feedback on podcasts. So I filmed 3 guest podcasts and 1 solo podcast this month. And all of them performed 2 standards for me. So we go to Spotify creators. Okay, so we just crossed 1,200 all platform plays. This month we have 5 listening hours, 2 new followers, 17 streams. Discovery, 12 people streamed, 17 showed interest, 86 people reached, 384 Spotify impressions. Not bad. But if we go to episodes, we are starting to get more traction. We have Monique's episode coming out this week, but we've consistently crossed the about 10 to 20 plays on every single episode, which is about all you can hope for. And then the YouTube has done quite well also, so that's been another win that I meant to track. and I'm starting to get better at repurposing and having a structure for being consistently on there every single week. So I'm starting to enjoy YouTube a lot more. Haven't seen any conversion from it, but I just know that it's starting to help. Um, and our average view duration, viewer engagement is starting to creep up slowly. So this month we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos, 74, 17, 11, 482, 6, 22, 31, 23, and 27. So not bad. We had our slightly viral one from last month, across 700 views, which is pretty cool. We had a video almost at 500 views, and another video almost at 500 views as well. This one's doing quite well. I just released it a couple of days ago, but it's our lead magnet. That's another win from this month, that I will record and write down right now. Is we published our first lead magnet and did a LinkedIn giveaway. So we made a LinkedIn post this week for this episode right here, and basically what we did was we followed a tactic of just posting the resource and having people comment if they wanted to download it. So the resource was a visual swipe file of information from this. There's a visual swipe file of the top converting websites on the entire internet from all these different industries, and got 770 impressions, which isn't great, but it did get 39 comments and 45 reactions, which is pretty cool. But basically, what it looks like is takes people to a landing page, has a bit of a teaser about the products. They get entered in right here, get access, and then it goes a straight redirect to a Notion file that has a quick little tutorial in it, and then the 3 different categorizations. You can go by color scheme, and look at all the landing pages. You can also go by industry right here, and by the specific call to action for the site, which you can browse through right here. And it looks nice. It's pretty good. I came across Sarah Hart's visual swipe file for the best looking LinkedIn profiles, and that was a lot of my inspiration for this. But I think it looks really clean. And to be honest, this only took about an hour and a half to put together, and it wasn't too high lift. It was a good test for running a lead magnet. I got, I think, 9 or 10 emails from it. I just saw that many people commented on it, but not a lot of people filled out the landing page. So yeah, I'll definitely do that again at some point, whether for this resource or for another. But I think this is a really good resource, and I had a lot of fun putting it together and just honestly just trying that. So that was definitely a win from this month. So now on to the losses, which is the big juicy thing we're about to talk about. So we had a couple of client churns, and the total summary of this was that it's all down to communication. And I don't want to dodge accountability, not so much on my front, but being able to recognize when people either A, aren't invested in the project, or B, don't get back to you early, and using that as a sign for how to prospect moving forwards. And also just using it as a sense of accountability to look inwards and say, what did I do to maybe not make myself as approachable? Am I over communicating? Because that can be a big off-putting factor. I know when you talk to clients, you don't want to be bombarding them too much, which I don't think I do. I think I remain professional, but being more open and asking, like, how do you prefer to communicate? And then just doubling down on that moving forwards. So over communicators are something that I'm starting to recognize. So over communicators from a client standpoint, where we have long conversations to get little accomplished with little output. And I saw that be a recurring theme this month, where you can index on both sides of bad communication, is where you feel like you're talking to someone and you're just getting nowhere, and always trying to get to yes and not actually having the hard conversations. Another loss from this month was not engaged in showing up for my LinkedIn audience. So there was several mornings this month when I had either events or travel, or honestly was just being lazy, did not get out of bed on time, and did not put in my 20 to 30 comments as I would like to, did not send my connect requests. And that is reflected in my impressions and my virality and the performance of my own content. So being more mindful of showing up and engaging on other people's comments or content before I go and finish on my own. Another loss was not engaging with my personal network, so on platform and off platform as well, with not getting back to messages, more so friends and family rather than actual clients, but not communicating from a holistic standpoint. There are several messages that I let slip by, potential meetings that could have came up, um, and not following up after some networking events as well. Um, Another loss from this month was engaging in short-term pleasures rather than sustained, delayed gratification and sustained wins. So there's several times where I fell short of my goals in terms of exercise, in terms of sleep, in terms of working as long as I could, and in terms of just doing some things I'm not proud of, like binge eating, staying up too late, and those are things that I'm trying to improve on, and I have strategies for doing all of those things moving forward. And I guess I put the lead magnet in the losses column, but it's actually a win. So pardon me there. And focus areas and lessons moving forward. So this is where we sum everything up. Number one, I'm trying to keep these to 2 or 3 so I can keep them very actionable. But I will, in March, spread myself less thin and focus more on one thing at a time. Not divert my attention between doing outreach, doing messaging, but really plan my night ahead of time, get into my calendar and focus on doing nothing else for the time that I set ahead of it. And that's something I've always done is plan my day and my calendar for the next day. Like as you guys can see, I always block off every single task, every single day, but I'm very bad at actually sticking to them, it would appear. So getting more consistent with doing that as well and actually sticking to the habits that I've laid out ahead of time. Action item number 2, when I sense myself becoming anxious, I will change my environment and take control of ownership of how I feel. So right now, as you guys can tell, I'm very tired. So that is a result of not doing anything else today and not changing my environment, not moving around enough. So after this, I'm going to go train and work out, and I come back for another session after this and finish the day strong. So that is the February retro month in review. Let me know how you guys think about this format. I think I'm going to expand on this a little bit more next month, but let me know what you guys think about the wins, losses, and lessons addition to these. But I would like to include more on the statistics and tracking because I think that's really rewarding. I've done that in past months, but I didn't get around to it this month. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for next month of the road to 100K. And I appreciate each and every one of you. If you've made it to this part in the video, God bless you. You must have a lot of free time on your hands. No, I'm just kidding. This is the transparent behind the scenes. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next month.